Well, hey everyone, and greetings from the wasteland. And we hope you're in the mood for some fresh vinyl, because it's time once again for our weekly check into some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. As always, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the releases, because there's just way too many to put in this short video. But if you'd like to see the full list, head over to our website at radiowastelandrecords.com. From there, you can look through not only the upcoming releases, but everything else that we have available through our distributors. We'll also put a link to the full list of this upcoming week's releases in the description below, so make sure you click on that to check it out. But without any further ado, let's dive right into the highlights of the releases for Friday, May 5th, yes, May 5th, 2023. And we're starting off with a big one, at least from the standpoint of size and or money. And this is something brand new from the Smashing Pumpkins. The album is called Autumn, and although it's been released kind of in segments over the past couple of months, this is the first full vinyl release to the 3-act rock opera coming out by Billy Corgan and Company. Our description says that this will feature 33 tracks, and according to Corrigan, it's the sequel to both 1995's Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness and 2000's Machine of God. Now, this was released in 3 separate installments of 11 songs each. Autumn, Act 1, back in November of last year, Act 2 in January of this year, and Act 3 scheduled for the 5th of May. Now, our description, embellishing as always, says that this concept album tells an epic interplanetary story set in the not-too-distant future, though the songs themselves, respectively, could stand on their own in the Pumpkins' pantheon. Now, there are 2 different vinyl versions of this coming out. Both of them are listed as 4 LP sets. The first, a standard black vinyl version, listing for about $80, but there's also an indie exclusive version as well, and this one's still on black vinyl, but according to what we're seeing, this 4 LP indie exclusive will include 3 exclusive screen-printed inserts, each of them inspired by each of the 3 acts of the album Autumn. So the indie exclusive version with the prints, also listing for about $80. If you're planning on ordering this from your record store, make sure you tell them which you'd want, although for the same price, I can't see why you wouldn't want the indie exclusive version, but that one is likely to be fairly limited. Also coming up new for the week of the 5th of May, we've got something from Ed Sheeran. This is continuing his mathematical album series. This one's simply called Subtract. It's the minus sign if you're really kind of keeping track, but technically the album is called Subtract. We have a limited edition yellow vinyl version of this, listing for about $25, matches the cover, but then there's also an indie exclusive version on white vinyl, said to be more limited, this one listing for $25 as well. Something new from the band Young the Giant. This is called American Bollywood. Not much information on this. I believe this was released late last year, but we're finally seeing it on vinyl. On black vinyl, I do believe, listing for about $30. And then there is a clear vinyl indie exclusive, clear yellow vinyl, according to this, also listing for about $30. On the heavy metal side of things, we've got something brand new from Savage Grace. This is called Sign of the Cross. Our description says that Savage Grace are back with a brand new studio album, and their brand new vocalist, Gabriel Colton, who our description says is described as a blend of early Rob Halford and the young Ian Gillan. So Savage Grace are creating and moving into a new dimension of metal while keeping true to their authentic roots. So new stuff from Savage Grace, Sign of the Cross, listing for about $26. An interesting compilation from the late Olivia NewtonJohn. This is called Just the Two of Us, the Duets Collection, Volume 1. A double LP seeing Olivia paired with the likes of Cliff Richard, Dolly Parton, singing Jolene actually, Michael McDonald, John Travolta, back with her again before she passed, Barry Gibb, Richard Marx, and Mariah Carey. This one on double LP black vinyl, Just the Two of Us, the Duets Collection by Olivia Newton-John, listing at about $36. A new soundtrack in the offing to coincide with the release of the movie, The Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is the Awesome Mix Volume 3, double LP on this one. Lots of great tunes from the likes of Radiohead, Rainbow, Space Hog, Flaming Lips, Alice Cooper's on here, the Beastie Boys, Florence and the Machine, and the Replacements, plus many, many more, and of course Redbone. Double LP, The Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Awesome Mix Volume 3 on black vinyl, listing for about $35. And here is an interesting one we wanted to toss in. It's called The Jazz Side of the Moon by Sam Yahel. I hope I got that pronounced correctly. Limited edition, but our description says marking the 50th anniversary of Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. it's now getting the jazz treatment. Actually, it has before, but this one is by a single artist. So this masterful musical retelling of this cult album, The Jazz Side of the Moon, crafts a fresh new perspective to the timeless album whilst maintaining its sonic essence and spirit. A lot of words in that description. So this one, a single LP, but looks like it's got some really cool artwork. The Jazz Side of the Moon listing for about $38. Lots of cool reissues to get through for the week of May 5th. And let's start off with, speaking of Pink Floyd, Syd Barrett. This is called An Introduction to Syd Barrett, a double LP reissue. This one was originally released in 2010, and then in 2011 it got a Record Store Day release. So this new vinyl reissue of the Introduction to Syd Barrett brings together tracks from Syd Barrett's solo work as well as Pink Floyd into one compilation. By the way, David Gilmour, who originally worked on Syd Barrett's 2 solo albums as co-producer of the Madcap Laughs and as producer of Barrett, was the executive producer for this album. So Syd Barrett's An Introduction to Syd Barrett on black vinyl listing for about $31. Next up is a reissue from the band Train. It's on music on vinyl, so let's not hold our breath too much. Drops of Jupiter on limited edition 180-gram red and black marble-colored vinyl. Our description says that this will be a limited edition of 2,000 individually numbered copies. But again, because it's music on vinyl, it's iffy whether smaller stores like ours might get a hold of it. We can try, though. Listing a little heavy, as some of the music on vinyl stuff does. This one coming in at a price of about $43. A couple of different versions of this reissue from the Stone Roses. This is Sally Cinnamon, originally released in 1987 by the Stone Roses. We're getting a black vinyl version and an indie-exclusive red vinyl version, that listing for about $25. And speaking of bands from that college radio era, although this album was a little bit later, here's one from the Butthole Surfers and a reissue of Weird Revolution. Originally released in 2001, this vinyl reissue will be on white-colored vinyl and list for about $30. Switching gear to the heavier side, here's one from Type O Negative, and it's Dead Again on black vinyl. This is a reissue of the 7th and final studio album from the New York metal legends Type O Negative. Originally released in 2007, it became the band's highest charting album of their career. The double LP contains 10 tracks, and it will be limited edition on black vinyl, listing for about $38. And right on the heels of their new release, here's a couple of reissues from Overkill. The Years of Decay is first up. This was the 4th studio album by the thrash metal band Overkill, originally released in 1989. Looks to be on black vinyl. This one will list for about $27. And we can also look forward to Horrorscope, originally released in 1991. That one listing for $27. A pair of jazz albums, including a biggie here. This is John Coltrane live at the Apollo Theater in Dusseldorf, Germany, recorded in 1960. Coming from the Destination Moon label, this one will list for about $26. We also have something from Freddie Hubbard. It's called Blue Spirits, and it is part of the Blue Note Tone Poets series. This one listing for about $39. And wrapping things up today, we've got a couple of interesting compilations, the first being a live one called The History of the Grateful Dead, Volume 1. This is Bear's Choice, and it is a 50th anniversary edition. Our description says that this is the Grateful Dead's first true archival album, drawing from live shows recorded at the Fillmore East in New York City. Bear's Choice captures the Dead at an essential moment of their history, as they were about to record Working Man's Dead and then shortly after American Beauty. So this one is a single LP on black vinyl, listing for about $25. And here is a greatest hits from Funkadelic, a long-awaited reissue of Funkadelic's 1975 greatest hits collection on Westbound Records, also known as the Sheep album for its cover art. Go figure. This is a stunning selection of highlights from the George Clinton-led group's first 6 albums. So Funkadelic's greatest hits remastered, coming in at a list price of $28. And finally, a very nice compilation from Aretha Franklin. This is called Queen in Waiting, the Columbia Years, 1960 through 1965, on limited edition 180-gram gold and black marble-colored vinyl. Now, this one is also a music on vinyl release, so availability may vary from store to store, but our description does say that it is a limited edition of 2,000 individually numbered copies on that colored vinyl. So before Aretha Franklin rose to fame, she was signed to Columbia Records, so this 3 LP compilation album is a collection of some of Aretha's most notable songs during that period, 1960 through 1965. The Queen in Waiting highlights Franklin's jazz and big band recordings, and includes the songs Won't Be Long, Walk On By, Today I Sing the Blues, and Try a Little Tenderness. Again, a triple LP on colored vinyl, very limited edition of 2000, coming in at a list price of about $66. And that is a quick check of some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you for Friday, May 5th, 2023. If you're local here in the Midland, Michigan area and you'd like to pre-order some of these, just give us a call and we will put you down for that. Not local, not a problem. You can go through the list and order as well by heading over to our website at RadioWastelandRecords.com. As always, you can dig through lots of other stuff on that website as well, so feel free to take your time. So until next week, this has been Jim from Radio Wasteland. You folks have a great one, and we'll talk to you next time.